All right, this is the, we're covering the second part of 9-7. We did not cover law of cosines. Yesterday we did law of sines. I'm going to give you guys the formulas. The formulas that I'm going to give you are going to be these right here. You're not getting anything else. You're not going to get this triangle here. You're just going to be given the formulas. I'm going to print out a list, and it's going to be on there. So if you're looking at the formulas, what it kind of looks like area of a triangle. Okay, so you're kind of using that, and it almost looks like the Pythagorean theorem because you're squaring everything and you're adding it together. So this formula, I want to say in particular, this is the only formula you're going to get. Law of sines, I don't think you're going to get that. But if you get this one, if you look at it, it's also kind of like the area formula. So this should definitely help you solving with the area formula, but except area is using sine, not cosine, and it's divided by 2, not multiplied by 2. Maybe I'll give you guys the area. We'll see. Okay, but you guys are going to get some of the formulas. All right, so this is law of cosine again. I am going to write them out as I am solving these. Okay, I'm going to write them out according to what I have to find. So just in case, write them out as well. All right, so looking at this one, they're giving me which sides. If I'm labeling, this side is what? This is C. What's this side? B, and this side is?
Wait.
A.
Oh, is it just like
Remember, it's the opposite.
What?
Okay?
What do you mean?
It's the opposite side. So when I'm going back to the triangle, what is what? You have your angles, which were the capital letters. This is what we did yesterday. This side is side A, this side is side B.
It says it on this thing over here.
Yes. Yes, it does say it on the previous slide.
It says that C is over there.
But look at it. It doesn't matter. All the differences, what I drew is B's on this side and C's on this side. I just switched it around. Remember, this triangle could be turned any way.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'm just kind of showing you that it's always going to be the opposite. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and solve. I have to solve using law of cosine. They are giving me angle A. They're giving me my angles. They're giving me my sides. I'm trying to find right now side A. So I'm just going to erase this right here just so I have some more space. I am going ahead and I'm going to try and find side A, okay, using law of cosine. So because I'm trying to find side A, I'm going to use the formula. If you flip back to your previous slide, the formula or the rule that they're giving me is A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 times BC
How do you know when to use this?
cosine A. Okay, when I look at it, are they giving you side B and side C? Yes. They're also giving me side A or angle A. I'm trying to solve for the side.
I don't get it. How do you know when you're using that one versus the other two?
Because I'm trying to find side A.
Oh.
I'm trying to find side A, and this is where A is.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and just plug in information that I have. If you want, I will definitely highlight it so you can see where I'm getting this information from. So I'm going to highlight side C in green, side B in pink, and angle A in blue. So I'm also going to write it in those colors. So I don't know what A is, so I'm writing it as x squared equals 23 squared plus,
Why X?
because that's what I'm trying to solve for. If you want to leave it at A, you could leave it as A, but I'm just going to put it as X. C is 26 squared minus 2. So the reason why I'm putting these in black is because it's like my foundation. I'm not changing it. And then I have B, which is 23, times C, which is 26. Then I have cosine angle A, which is 114. kind of squeeze it in there. Let me write it a little better.
So your cosine thing is always just going to be your angle thing?
Yeah, anytime you're using sine, cosine, or tangent, it's always going to be your angle next to it. So, solving this. I would not recommend you plug all this into your calculator because it's super easy to mess up. So I'm going to do it in like little steps. So looking at this, things that I can just quickly solve in my calculator, I'll highlight it. I can easily solve this in my calculator. I could just plug it in my calculator and I could solve it. So go ahead and plug that piece into your calculator. If you plugged it in correctly, you would have, okay, I'll wait. I'll let you guys try plugging that in and then I'm going to write it down. Don't look up if you're still checking. 1,000, I won't even say it. So you should be plugging in 23 squared plus 26 squared. You should get 1,205. And then another thing I can easily solve is right here. Keep in mind I'm keeping my sign, keeping that negative sign or the subtraction sign. Solving this piece, 2 times 23 times 26. You're going to get 1,196. And then I'm still keeping everything else. Cosine 114 equals x squared. All right, once you get this, do not plug into your calculator, girls. Do not plug into your calculator. 1,205 minus 1,196. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, absolutely no, because you're going to get a different number. What I'm going to do is, how do I get rid of a squared? You square root it. I'm plugging this into my calculator, which you can. Plug it in exactly how it's written. Second squared, so you get the square root, 1,205 minus 1,196 cosine 114.
Miss Chung, how do you
Yes.
Is the answer 41.1?
Good. 41.1 for this side. You should get A equals 41.1. Plug it in exactly how it's written. Do not change anything. You don't have to close any parentheses. Everything is inside the square root, so do not close your parentheses. Yes.
So now since we're doing the angles, we have to do inverse.
This side is 41.1. I'm just showing you how you're using this. To find the angles now, because I have a side and an angle that could be combined together, instead of using law of cosine, I can go ahead and use law of sine. Okay, so the reason why we couldn't use law of sine is because looking at it, remember, with law of sine, you have to have your angle and your side together. You have to have an angle and side together, and you'd have to have an angle and side together. I did not have anything like that. So I had to have found either a side or an angle. And in the next example, I'll show you how to find an angle. But because now I have side A and angle A, I can go ahead and use law of sine. So instead of me using this huge, long, plugging in, and God forbid I mess up, I'm going to get the wrong answer, I can now go ahead and use law of sine. So pay attention how I'm using law of sine. I'm going to take, remember, law of sine, if you forgot, was sine angle A over A equals sine angle B over B equals sine angle C over C. Now I can use this. Why? Because I have both my angle and my side for A. Now I can go ahead and find my angles, but I only have to find one, because then I could add them, subtract, and then get my other angle. I don't have to plug it into anything. So let's go ahead and what angle do you want to find?
B.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do B. So right now I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to solve for this angle. So I'm going to use this right here. So looking at it, plugging in, I'm going to take sine 114 over 41.1 equals, now we're finding sine B or angle B. I'm going to have sine B over 23. Yes, someone did say, do we have to use the inverse? Yes, I'm going to have to use the inverse for this because I'm solving for an angle. So, how am I solving this? Multiply by 23 on both sides. And then don't forget you have to do the inverse of sine. So how am I plugging this in? You have to use the inverse of sine. 23 sine 114. And don't forget there's parentheses. You got to make sure you close those parentheses. Divided by 41.1. Go ahead and plug that in, and I'm not going to write the answer yet. All right, your answer should have been for angle B, 30.7 degrees. Don't forget your degree sign. So 30.7 degrees. And now I have to solve for angle C. Instead of plugging it in, all you have to do, angle C equals, add your 114 plus your 30.7, plug it into your calculator, plus 30.7. You're going to get 144.7, and all you have to do is subtract it from 180. And your answer for this angle, angle C, equals 35.3 degrees. So don't forget that. When you have the last angle, you don't have to plug it in. You could just add what you have, subtract it by 180. Questions on this one? Okay. Just a reminder, the only time you have to use cosine is if you don't have a side with an angle.
You either have like all angles or all sides.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, if you're trying to, you have to find something to match up to use sine. So if you're missing, let's say, so you see how I wrote these out for sine? You see how, like, just looking at what they're giving me, I couldn't match any pairs. I couldn't match a side with an angle. You have to find something in order to use sine. So that's why you're using cosine, to find something that's missing. All right, last example. Now we have all sides. I have to find an angle. So if you look back at the formulas, we can go ahead and we can find angle A, but you can find any one. But because we kind of wrote it already and we already know what it is, just go ahead and rewrite it. It's going to be A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine angle A. So now I have what I have. Okay, I have my, I'm going to label it. This is C, A, B. Now I can go ahead and plug in. Go ahead and try and plug it in on your own, please. All right, plugging in what you should have if you plugged in correctly. 4 squared equals 6 squared plus 5 squared minus 2 times 6 times 5 cosine angle A, because that's what we're trying to find. Did we all get that? All right, go ahead and solve what you think you can solve. Okay, so I kind of solved it in little steps. Go ahead and separate what you can solve out. All right, so I'm highlighting what I solved, and I could solve this out. So I have all right, this is what I have if you're here. All right, once you're here, what can I move to the other side? Okay, look at it, think about it. What can I move to the other side? Well, I can't do that.
Why?
Remember, like last time, I can't do that. So I have to move something before I can do anything like that.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to get rid of the 61. I'm going to subtract the 61 from these sides. I'm going to get negative 45 equals negative 60 cosine A. Okay, look at the operation here. What operation is this? Negative 60 cosine A. What operation is that? Okay, so what operation is right here? This is multiplication. Negative 60 times cosine A. So how do I get rid of that negative 60? I have to go ahead and divide by that negative 60. So divide by negative 60. Divide by negative 60. Now I have the negative 45.
Wait, why are we dividing by negative 60?
I'm trying to get my angle by itself.
Okay, but why can't you just do that?
That's what I did. Divide by negative 60. All right, so now how can I get rid of the cosine? How can I get rid of the cosine? Now what do I have to do? How do I get rid of the cosine?
Divide by cosine.
Okay, so what is that called? If I'm solving for an angle, what do I have to do?
Inverse?
I have to do inverse cosine. So how am I plugging it into the calculator? Remember, we're solving for an angle. Good. Second cosine, so I get that inverse. Negative 45 divided by negative 60. Keep in mind your negative sign is not your subtraction sign. Do not put a subtraction sign for your negative sign. Where your negative sign is right next to the enter button where it has the negative in parentheses. Go ahead and plug it in. All right, your answer is angle A is 41.4. So I'm going to go ahead and write it in. 41.4 for angle A. And now that I have angle A and side A, do I have to use cosine? No, I'm going to go ahead and use sine. So look at how I'm using sine. I'm going to do sine, yes. So you would do the b squared one, yes. Okay, so yeah, going back to it, I have sine 41.4 over 4 equals what side do we want to solve for? Are we solving for angle A or angle C or angle B? Which one do you want to do? All right, we'll do C. Sine C, because that's what I'm trying to solve for, but side C is 5. So same thing as we've been doing before. I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 5. My 5s are going to cancel out. It's still, you could still do that. That's fine. I would then have 5 sine 41.4 over 4 equals sine C. And don't forget, now I need the inverse. So plugging it in, inverse sine, so second sine 5 sine 41.4 divided by 4. Go ahead and plug it in and see what you get. Just so you're not getting confused, I'm gonna draw a line here. Here we go. All right, your answer for angle C. Angle C is 55.8 because we're rounding to the nearest tenth. It's 55.75 or yeah, 75. Round it up. Go ahead and solve for angle B on your own. All right, so last angle, and then we're done. Angle B.
I got negative.
No, you're doing something. You plugged it in wrong probably. If you added 55.8 plus 41.4, you should have had 92.2. Then you do 180 minus 92, or 97.
I got 96.
No, it should be 97.2.
I got 96.
And if you subtract it correctly, you should have had angle B equals 82.8 degrees.
Miss Chung, come here.
All right, once you get that answer, go ahead and submit your notes. You guys have a test on Monday. Review is due tomorrow morning. It's on Canvas under test review.